Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. We are here for our Friday time together, and this time we have an interview with Mercury Mark, who has agreed to join us here. And this is a service that I'm doing for the community, for those who would like to get to know others in the community and connect with each other. And Mercury Mark has been a member of the community for quite a while. He has kind of taken some time off here and there from time to time, but he's back. And I think he started in 2014, and there's a link to his channel in the description of this live stream. So anybody that's interested, you can subscribe to him there. But we want to thank Mercury Mark for joining us. And how this will occur is I will ask a series of questions, and then we will have a conversation, and then we're going to take your questions afterwards. And when we take your questions, there'll be a special code before your question so I can see it. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be something different than before. And so just hold off any of your questions you may have until then. But let's get to know Mercury Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Doing great, Sal. Thank you so much for the wonderful intro and inviting me on for this interview here.
Sure thing. Yes, indeed. Honored to have you. So you've been in the community, I think, since 2014, at least as a channel. But what moved going back before that? Let's go back to your prenatal days when you were in your mother's womb. Can you know? We like to have fun. I think Mark knows my personality. But what got you interested in precious metals and Mercury dimes? Since I mean that's always been a theme of yours for so long. But what got you interested in coins and precious metals from the get-go?
Well, Sal, yeah, the Mercury dime, and obviously the focus around my name and my channel, it kind of kicked off with a Mercury dime. My grandfather had been a coin collector. I would say he wasn't very vocal and didn't share it very often, but when he did end up passing, he distributed most of his collection to a lot of the family members. And I received quite a bit of his Mercury dime collection. And I never really thought too much of it when I received it. And it wasn't until, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 years after I had it, I kind of went back to take a look at it, reminiscing a little bit about memories of my grandfather. And that got me into just being a little more curious about coin collecting. And I came to YouTube, of course. I'm a pretty tech-savvy guy, and I was like, Google and YouTube are the two places to go. And I typed in coin collecting and started seeing all these channels and pretty much found the community. And that got me pretty much kind of invigorated in it. And the more and more I learned, I would say the first year or so, 2013 is actually when I first started doing some research into this. And I found channels like yours, Sal, and a few of the other ones. There was, what is it, Silverfish?
Yep, Silverfish VT, yep.
Yeah, I don't think he's really active anymore, but he had some tremendous content on his channel. And I really enjoyed watching yours and his, and some of those ones that have been around for a long time. And that got me hooked into it. And then I also found, it wasn't until about, I would say, the first year into starting it, that first 2014, I realized it gave me an opportunity to more or less, I call it savings, as the community calls it, also preserving your wealth or holding your wealth.
Right.
It always was a challenge for me to stash, cash away in a bank. That was always a challenge for me. It's always, there's always something new you want to purchase or buy. This gave me an opportunity to purchase something, whether it was gold or silver or constitutional coinage that's out there, and kind of fed that need of purchasing something, but still preserve my wealth. So it was a great savings for me, and that just kind of fed the hunger and
I think there's something to be said about, saving money, because you're right. When you put money in the bank, and by the way, I'm a proponent of having cash money in the bank. But at the same time, like you said, it's difficult many times. And when you can acquire precious metals and hold them in your hand, it's a way to save and have fun doing it. And just like the icon that we see on the screen here for Mercury Mark, that is a gold coin. At the very worst, it's going to be worth just its value in gold, but it's beautiful, and you can have fun with it. And Mercury Mark, you got your your hook from your grandfather, and his legacy lives on in what you do now. So I think that's something else that's quite fascinating from how you got started, and that's a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome.
I appreciate it, Sal. Thanks.
So with that being said, you have you got into the YouTube community, you started doing a little bit of research, and you've watched some channels and some of the topics. And other than the Mercury dimes, what was your first, I guess, jump? And what kind of stuck out at you as what you wanted to start acquiring? I won't say necessarily collecting or stacking, but maybe it's a combination of both. But what was the next thing you got outside of Mercury dimes?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a very analytical person, so that's why like that first year, I just kind of was checking it out, scoping it out, pretty much doing my research.
Right.
And that's who I am and how I operate. And as you see, probably on my channel from my first ever video, I found out from a lot of people, the foundational stack is American Silver Eagles. I mean,
Yep.
I have quite a large collection of that. I would say it's been a while since I actually have calculated it out, but I would say it's probably somewhere just under 850 ounces just in
Right.
American Silver Eagles.
Right.
And I've shared quite a few videos. I know a couple of them recently with some of my updates because I have them stored in various locations. But yeah, that would make up the majority of my stack, I would say. I also do enjoy, though, some graded coins. I know not everybody's a huge fan of those, but I did start a Franklin half dollar collection, and I'm getting a date and mint set for that, and it's graded through NGC, and I'm trying to find anything MS64 and above. Most of them is 65
Right.
right now, and I would say I'm about 12 short right now. I've been working on that for the last 2 years in that realm. Outside of that, like everybody else, I've had kind of a varied experience. I early on there's some of those little niche or themed coins or rounds that are put out. I did get hooked on some of those through Provident. The Herculean set I did. That was kind of like the first. I don't know what you would call those, Al. But I did get hooked on that set, and of course, I got it in the beginning, and I followed it all the way through. I filled it, but I ended up selling it. I moved on. I had the collection. I sat on it for about a year, and I realized it wasn't something that was kind of part of my permanent stack, and I was ready to move on. Sold it, and then reinvested that money into other items. So,
Right.
But a lot of mine, I would say, is definitely coin and rounds. I don't have as many bars. I've only have a few. I think I have less than 10 off the top of my head
Right.
in that realm. And I only have, I think, 3 poured pieces actually in my entire collection.
Okay.
So that's in
Right.
there. But I know that's been a huge growing trend over the last year and a half here. I know I've seen in the community.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of poured silver channels out there. People have done some great work with their pouring the bars. I mean, we have members. We have people from Silverback Stacker to Scully's Corner to just a myriad of different folks out there doing pouring. Dixie Silver Miner, who's actually in the side chat here, he does pouring as well. So yeah, it's amazing to see how the trends are, and that's the thing, especially with silver, even more so than gold. There's so many different affordable options, and just as there are as many affordable options, there is just as much of a spread and premium that's even far surpasses that of gold in that regard too. So you can pay a lot or you can pay a little for silver. That's the beautiful thing about it, which I think is kind of neat. Going back to a follow-up, and you sort of somewhat touched on this, but you had mentioned how as time goes on, you've kind of changed. You've gotten a set, then you've since sold that set. And there's different things. And I remember back then all the hot coins and bar and rounds and things like that were occurring. And so how would you say you've evolved over since your time being on YouTube and since you started acquiring other pieces other than the Mercury dimes?
I would definitely say I've gone back to more of those foundational pieces. I've found myself
Right.
kind of coming full circle especially within the last year or so. There's been a lot more. I've been heavily purchasing, especially with the dip in spot price with American Silver Eagles. I
Right.
mean, I've never seen them that low in the last 5 years
Right.
since I've been involved in this in my holdings. So that was a huge undertaking. Um, I would say, yeah. So it's really come full circle. The American Silver Eagles. I've also um, had a little bit more focus on non-silver as well. I've upped my gold holdings as well. Even though the spot price has gone up on those, I've just realized kind of want to have a little bit more of a balance. So I've kept my eyes out for some decent deals there. And then I've recently just got into platinum.
Nice.
Some of my first purchases actually at the end of 2018. I'm still waiting on some deliveries for that to come in, and those would be my first holdings. I have about 1.5 ounces in transit right now.
Very
So,
good. Wow.
but yeah,
It's funny. You're kind of following a lot of the same trends that I've done as well. I'm trying to focus more on gold, and have talked about platinum, and have acquired a few ounces there too, and want to try to maybe get a little bit more depending on where the price goes this year, and spoke about it in a recent video. But that's great. Well, very good. Yeah, that's awesome. That was going to be my next question. Is what your thoughts were on gold and acquiring it, but you answered that already, so that's very good. And as far as the community and YouTube itself, what are your thoughts um, about the community and about your channel, and as far as how you've interacted in the past, because it's changed a lot since 2014, when you started, and as opposed to where it is now. We've talked about some of the sort of the sub community with the silver pours, which you've mentioned, but can you speak a little bit to that, of what your thoughts are about your channel, and what your I guess, and I mean, obviously we track your purchases and things like that, but how it's changed, or what your focus is on your channel, and then also the community.
yeah, absolutely. Um, well, yeah, I mean, a lot of mine have been focused around obviously unboxings. I have done quite a few different videos, whether it's updates, various topics, new specials, new releases, and I'd like to continue that. That's worked for me, and the videos also kind of give you a timeline of what you bought. You kind of go back.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's
sure.
unless you're one of the super organized ones that I know some people got those spreadsheets that are out there. I tried that, but I couldn't keep up with it. Um, in that regard. So it gives me an opportunity to go back and be like, oh yeah, that's what I was able to pick up last year,
Right.
in that regards. But as for the community, first and foremost, I just want to give hats off to this community. Ever since I joined it, it's been a very inclusive community. It's very, very supportive of it. I know that there are those trolls out there, but I felt like they just they get what's coming to them with
Right.
them, and I think the community does a good job of dealing with that small percentage that's out there. But I feel like everybody's extremely, extremely welcoming and supportive of, especially the newbies. You might want to call them, coming in, supporting new channels, and encouraging people to start producing videos that might be more on the passive side of YouTube. Just the viewers and commenters that are out there, and encouraging them to interact from the video perspective. And yeah, there's kind of that subcomponent it seems to be evolved over the last year and a half from the pouring community, which I never really had interest in. I would say that maybe the last 6 months started watching more of those videos, and just because of the group and the discussions that take place within those, and a lot of them are some of the channels that I've always watched from the beginning back in 2013, 14. And they've been interesting, great friends, some of them, communicating with them. And I think it's great to see kind of new subsections of the community continue to develop. And can't predict the future, but I'm sure there's probably going to be another one that that might grow on it. But I'd like to still see that the core is still here, in that front.
Yeah, it's neat because we've seen some channels come and go, and Big Stack McGee is a channel that had been around for a long time, and he left and then came back, and he's back in full force now, which is awesome. I know you've taken some hiatus from time to time, but you're back in full force now. Silverfish VT, I think, is is sorely missed even today. But he made an exit as well
Hmm.
some time ago. But nonetheless, but yeah, it is neat. I think the longevity of the community, and I think it says something about, no matter what the prices are for gold and silver, we believe in them because we know they'll never go to zero, and there will always really be a savings, a protection of wealth of some sort. And no matter what the price is, the value is always there. And so I think that's something that really does unite us in the community. But
Hmm.
very good, very good. So, what are your thoughts moving forward now with your channel? Do you have anything in sight, or where you want to go, or where you want to be in the next year, 2 years, 5 years?
Yeah, definitely within this next year. I want to definitely want to put out a little bit more content. I did have a couple long extended breaks. Those that follow my channel probably have seen, and those were due to mainly family. I had to
Sure.
take a step back, and there's priorities that are there. I think we're all aware of that. Um, I was watching videos and still commenting here and there, but I just wasn't able to put content out from my channel. But going forward. Obviously, unboxings, I love sharing them. I will continue to do those. I'd like to definitely have a little bit more content. Um, I would say just more commentary. I love that's one of the reasons why I stepped up, Sal, and asked to do this because I think it's kind of forcing me to get involved and have these types of commentary other than just a standard unboxing on the
Right.
channel. Whether it's talking about why I stack or a new release, what's my take on it, or what's my take on the various markets that are currently in play right now with spot. So I'd like to evolve a little bit more into putting out some content
Right.
in that side.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing over the years. That's what unboxings, I still do them as well, but it seems like I do more commentary these days than I do unboxings. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but
So Sal, I do have to ask, since I mean you're a daily YouTuber,
yeah,
like time. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I know everybody loves to see the videos, but there's all the filming of it,
yeah.
and possibly the editing, depending on what each of the YouTubers do. There, so does that? How much time do you put in an average video?
Oh,
Can I ask you that?
yeah, yeah. Well, depending on the type of video it is, it can be anywhere from, from the time you think of a theme or think of what you want to talk about to upload and publishing. It's well over an hour, for sure. And that's on a one, what to do. You know what you're doing. You can go and knock it out.
Hmm.
Boom, do it, upload it, and get it going. But there's others that take longer than that. But it's not just about the video. There's obviously maintaining the channel, maintaining the comments, and responding to comments, watching other people's videos, supporting other people's channels, and the live streams. This is for me, it is a second job. It literally is now. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it by any means. I don't. When I say job or work, that doesn't. It's not a negative connotation to it,
Hmm.
and it's not for everybody. And it's very easy. And by the way, for those who have channels who are doing it strictly solely for fun, you can experience burnout. And for doing too much or feeling like you have to do this, or you feel compelled, as I've certainly felt that. And so I think for you or for anybody else, I don't want anybody to feel like feel compelled to do anything
Hmm.
um, to please any certain audience or anything like that. You really have to love doing it, just like with anything, including stacking, by the way, and collecting. People shouldn't, if they feel like they've got enough for one particular month, or don't buy. There's reasons enough not to buy as there is to buy in some cases, especially if there's another financial need out there that you need to take care of. But that, anyways, sorry for that little
No, no,
commentary.
I know that's great, Sal. Hey, Sal, the other one, kind of a follow up that I have for you too, and it might be, I think, great for other people to hear. It's like, how do you come up with your topics? For your non unboxings, because obviously we all know what those are when they arrive. But I mean, they just out of the blue. Are you coming up with them right before you start filming, or do you kind of have a list of that you kind of have generated over time, or
I
do
have
you
a
get
list.
feedback from community members?
I have a list. I mean, I am just a bot. I'm completely artificial. I'm an artificial intelligence.
I think I saw that in the comments.
Yeah, I know. I'm going off of that from there. Yeah, I've got to show them a little thing. I'm just a bot. But um, but anyways, yeah. I mean, I'll research some topics sometimes if there's literally breaking news. Like for instance, there was a time I was on a live stream on my Sunday night live streams. We do a market watch. In other words, we're looking to see what the Asian markets do because they're the first ones to open up with precious metal prices. And one time there was a crazy, quirky glitch that lasted for like 26 minutes, and that was happening live. And I ended up doing a video on that after on the next day. Others where the markets crash on Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
There was breaking news on the markets, huge news on the market. So I put out videos on both those days. And so sometimes you have to be quick on the draw for things like that. Other things I do check out and see what other people, I don't want to necessarily copy what other people are doing. So one of the first things I do is I check and see if somebody else has covered it. If they've covered it sufficiently enough, I probably won't do a video on it. But but sometimes it doesn't matter. I'll just do a video on it anyway, just depending on what the topic is. But it's definitely not easy because you run into the risk of just talking about the same types of things. And really with precious metals, you're kind of going back to the same theme. But I think that theme needs to be heard from a different perspective based off of the commentary of the news of the day and all the different things that can affect it. And I do like to concentrate on my channel as being related to precious metals. And so when you do that, you have to think about all of the fingers that can affect precious metal prices. That includes politics, that includes geopolitics, it includes economics, it includes both macro and microeconomics. It includes psychology, and includes the collector markets. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can come into play. So there's a variety of topics that can be talked about. So that's kind of how I approach it. I don't know when you do your videos on those topics, what are your feelings? What's your approach going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of actually looking for some input. That's one of the reasons why I asked. So I was kind of curious. I'm always kind of curious to see how that's developed because, I don't think that's always shared with everybody, especially some of the big channels like yours, Sal, you guys are putting out content constantly. It's like, wow, and I, think about just putting out maybe I'm doing a video a week at most, if not with it. But for me, I've been trying to get more involved in taking a look at current news. See what's out there. As I mentioned, I'd like to put out some videos about releases, the markets, and try to get into some of that. But that involves me dedicating some of the time too on the back end to take a look at that and find out the content that's worth sharing.
Right.
And there's quite a few that already share market information that's on there. So, and it's all opinion too.
And the other thing I should say too is I have a good audience. My subscribers will send me emails with links to and I get a lot from there as well too, just so you know. I get a lot like for instance, people in the community told me about the new wedge-tailed eagles that are been released. And so I posted a video about that on the new wedge-tailed eagle design. So new releases are something I keep up with as well too. And for sure. But I get a lot from the community. And then also research, and sometimes I can't get to all of it. Sometimes there's some things I just can't get to, and but yeah, you just try to just find it from different ways and different sources. But the other thing too is what is Paris Hilton doing, and what is Taylor Swift doing? Those two individuals are the biggest effect on the markets than anything else out there. Paris Hilton, Taylor Swift.
Hey, you go with that one, Sally. Run with that one.
Yeah, I should do a video on that. The Paris Hilton, Taylor Swift gold and silver connection. Right.
Definitely manipulating the markets there.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I can't think of any other questions I have. So if you're cool, we'll go ahead and take questions from the audience here.
Yeah, let's go.
Now, I don't know. Before I start, you'll see some people talking about slurping on the side. Part of my live streams, I have coffee with me, and I've been polite
Yeah.
here. But I do have coffee. I'm not slurp because I don't. You may not be familiar with that. I do that, but it's kind of a running thing with us here in the community. So I'm going to do a slurp for Barbara Carbone here. I've done that, and people loved it. Well, at least some people love it.
Hey Sal, one question before you ask that.
Yeah.
Seeing that from the Pacific Northwest, the so-called coffee mecca. Are you straight kind of? How do you take your coffee?
I take my coffee. I used to take it with cream, but I take it straight black, and with a little bit of Truvia.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Nice.
that natural. It's a stevia sweetener called Truvia.
Yes. Yeah. Nice. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bill 457 says I got to slurp louder. Just 1 second. And by the way, I like to keep it light too, even when I do videos. And in fact, Barbara Carbone noticed, and I didn't get a chance to respond to her comment yet, but for the very first time, I actually slurped for an actual video. I usually just do it on the live streams, but I did it in an actual video. So anyways, well, very good. Well, guys, here we are. You guys are now, it's up to you. You're taking over the interview. I'm going to take off. No, I'm kidding. I'll be here. But if you want to ask Mercury Mark a question, use the give me let's see here. Give me a bunch of the parentheses signs before your question so I can see it. So type a bunch of those parentheses. That's Shift and 9. Like you can do 4 or 5, more than 3 in front of your question so that I know what is going on. So we're going to take your questions. Depending on the number of them, Mercury Mark, just in the interest of time, so we don't get too far behind, answer relatively concisely unless you really feel like you want to, explain more. But we'll see here. Terry Rabideau put a sad face. No, not like that, Terry Rabideau. We don't want to be sad. We're just putting a parenthesis there. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so here we go, guys. You can start asking your questions now. And while we're waiting for questions, Juan says, "What's up with the slurptitude round?" Well, okay, make a slurptitude round. We'll have to try that sometime.
Yeah.
But stay tuned, by the way. Won't be a slurptitude round, but stay tuned. Okay, so Donald in New Mexico. How much mercury is used to refine gold? Oh. That actually is a legitimate question because mercury is used for some places to refine gold. You may not know that, Mercury, but and I don't know how much, but
I don't know. I am well aware of it,
yeah.
But I do not know the scientific the ratios on that. So sorry, Donald.
All right, immersed in working class. Some of these questions are gonna be a little silly, and I'll go ahead and ask them if we don't have any other serious questions just for fun. This is, you have to have been in a Turkish prison to understand this one. Ever seen a grown man naked? Mercer working class AG wants to know.
I'm gonna pass on that one. No, I have never.
Let's see here. Okay, can I bum $1? Says Corn Dog. All right, you're being silly. All right, DB Stupid says, how much does the economic news affect your buying or saving strategy? Good question, DB.
No, I think that's a great question. I would say I definitely heavily take that in consideration. What's kind of happening with the economy? I have in the past, and I've actually kind of kept a track on that. And yeah, I think there's, especially recently, for me, and also new legislation coming into my state where I has a new sales tax. So that's why I was doing some heavy purchasing in the end of 2018.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat that. So yes, I do take that heavily into account for my purchasing.
Good. All right, very good. Tricky Guy, how do you clean your pre-65, your constitutional silver, or do you just let your hands get gunky?
I don't clean any of my coins. I do wear gloves occasionally, especially I do some coin roll hunting, and yeah, the money's dirty. I mean, especially constitutional, it's extremely dirty. I'd recommend everybody glove up for that stuff. You can get pretty sick with it, especially if you're going through those that coin roll hunt. I think that's why you see a lot of the guys have, disposable like vinyl gloves or latex gloves that are out there. But I do not. I guess to directly answer your question, I do not clean anything.
Right.
So I usually just
I would advise against
gloves
it.
and yeah, use hand sanitizer.
Yep. Carl Electrum, should I buy a gold Mercury dime 2016 or a 2018 gold Black Liberty or the 2018 Comosco Tiger 1/10 ounce coin?
Ooh. Wow, that's a good one. Let's see here. I don't know too much about the Tiger. I've seen the design, but
Yeah.
I don't know that much behind it. So I don't know mintage or anything because those are things I take in consideration.
Right.
I'm a little biased to the Mercury dime. I think you can find some great deals on eBay, so I would highly recommend take a look at those, especially the auction ones.
Yep.
Find the ones that end at like odd hours, like 2 a.m. or something. You'll find a great deal on them because I think I have about a dozen of them, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
Cool. For my collection, a few of them graded, a couple of them raw. But I've just picked them up when I've seen them at just prices I couldn't pass up.
Oh, so. Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. But they were selling for quite a premium for a while before they.
Heavy premium for, I would say, the first year. So I think the design attracted a lot of people and they sold out quick as well.
Right. Low blood pressure. Mercury is said to do how many push-ups? That's another thing I do on my channel. I do push-ups live.
Oh, push-ups live? Those that might watch, I'm actually a very athletic guy. Nice. I do triathlons. I've done a couple Ironmans myself.
Cool.
Really big into so push-ups. It's been a while since I've maxed out, but part of my routine last year was 50.
Wow.
At least twice a week.
Yeah.
That was just part of one of my workout regimens that I had in place for strength conditioning. Right. I haven't done them that much. I've been working on my swimming a lot lately, so more aquatic base.
Nice. That's awesome. That's impressive for sure. All right, Bill 457 asked, how long ago were you on YouTube? I think we answered the beginning. Good question though. You started in 2014. When did you start watching YouTube though?
In 2013, I would say approximately about a year before I started actually putting content out. I was watching videos. I didn't have a channel established or anything. I just was generically watching. I do random searches that were out there, and I just kind of tracked a few of the names that I kind of threw out earlier in the discussion.
Right.
So I would say about a year beforehand, I was just kind of doing my research, as I mentioned. So
yes, very good, very good. Tricky Guy says, if you needed to get rid of some of the dimes to get some cash, how would you go about doing it? Pawns, friends, eBay, Craigslist?
For me, it would definitely be Craigslist and one of my local LCSs. Mercury dimes are, I would say, they're pretty sought after out here where I am in the Pacific Northwest. They're really hard to find. A lot of the LCSs don't have them, and if they do get them in, they sell up. They have like call lists, a lot of our coin dealers. If they get them in, they'll start calling down until they get somebody that says, yeah, hold on to them, I'll pick them up. Right. They go quick, and there's a lot of private stackers. I would say a couple times when I've wanted to flip something or if I needed to liquidate it and I can't do it through my local LCS, I post it on Craigslist and I get numerous hits immediately. Nice. I think it's some of those guys that come out of the bunkers. Out here in the mountains, like literally, it wouldn't surprise me. That's in there, and haven't had a problem selling anything that I've wanted to liquidate on that front. But as I mentioned, my stack's evolved. I've kind of gotten away from some of those high premium things, and I've gone to more of those foundational basic stack things that make it a little bit easier to liquidate as well.
Right. Have you seen this yet?
Is that the palladium one, or is it
no? This is a silver, very thick version of the Mercury dime from Intaglio Mint. Actually, is how you pronounce it, and it's just a stunning representation. And actually, this isn't the latest version. The latest version is an even more accurate representation. But I got this from Intaglio Mint, and I love it. It's just really cool. If you like the Mercury dime, or the Winged Liberty is technically what it's called.
Yes.
You might enjoy this website that sells these. They just do a great job.
I'll have to check it out. No, I haven't really looked that much into that mint at all. I heard about this design, but I think this is the first time I've actually seen this, Sal. And you said that is 2 ounces?
Yeah, this is 2 ounces. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, no, the Winged Liberty design, I think it's gorgeous. So, obviously there's some history with it for me, but the only one that I don't own, obviously, is that one. But I did miss out on the palladium one. I keep kicking myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've been keeping my eyes out, but with spot going through the roof, um, yeah, it's still high on my list. I got caught up with some family stuff, and I completely missed the release of it. So
Well,
yeah,
if you're interested in seeing what it looks like, you can look at my channel. I got one. It is a stunning coin, for sure. Yeah, definitely, definitely. But well, very good. Well, let's get into back to the questions. So,
yeah.
Sorga Kill. I think we know the answer to that question. Your favorite coin in your stack?
Favorite coin in my stack. Well, I would say I would call it two. Obviously, the Mercury dime,
Yep.
and actually my Mercury dime collection, because I did receive a full raw set from my grandfather, including the 16D.
Right.
I do have that one as well. So that would have to be actually I would call it the set. Would have to be the big one, and then beyond that, I would have to say it was probably a gold piece. I would probably have to go with the gold Mercury that came out to the U.S. Mint.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was released 2 years ago.
Which is
Um,
your
it's
channel
it's
avatar
beautiful.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Now I just like the luster on it and the gold, and yeah, it had me ever since they released the design on it. So yeah, there we go, right there. So and it's just I think it's just gorgeous, it's beautiful. So it's a tie
Yeah.
between obviously the gold version and the silver. So
Right. That's cool. And that follow-up question here, Super U868, the coin that started it all was the Mercury dime for him. He mentioned that the collection he got from his grandfather. Very good. Let's see here. Okay. Next thing here, the chat jumped away from me. We're getting a little behind here. Terry Rabidou, when will silver go up? I guess.
well, it's on its way up, and my prediction, I think it's going to continue to go up. I think late
Yeah.
spring we're going to see a jump before summer. That's
Yeah.
my prediction. I think we're going to see another quick spike on it.
Right.
So probably I'm thinking maybe back into the $17, $18 range for silver. That's my I guess estimation.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I agree. And then Barbara Carbone wants to know if you're a prepper.
Um, I wouldn't call myself a full scale prepper. I do have I do I would say slightly prepare. The location where I live, we lose power all the time. So like I kind of almost have to do that, provide for my family. Because we can lose power for like a day or two,
Right.
due to our weather and due to my location. So I do out of everyday necessity. So I feel like I'm already sort of prepared for, when the shit hits the fan type scenarios.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. And DB Stupid, are you near Seattle? He's in the Pacific Northwest. Probably, I don't know.
I'm open to that. Yes, I'm in the Seattle area.
Yes,
so,
cool. All right, very good.
Beautiful, gorgeous area. Those that haven't been out here, come vacation. Come check it out sometime.
Nice. Mercury, Donald, New Mexico, wants to know if you got a boat.
I do have a boat. I enjoy fishing, and I enjoy going crab fishing actually more than salmon fishing. Oh man, I love the Dungeness crab out here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the seafood, the Dungeness crab, scallops, mussels, oysters.
You're a man after my own heart because I love crab meat. Crab meat is the bomb diggity. Love that stuff.
Yeah, I mean you can throw a crab pot in. I can drink a 6-pack of beer, and I can pull up probably like $80 worth of crab, and it only cost me like $5 in bait. So really? I mean, that's a great day during the summer months during in-season fishing.
Yeah. Juan Ortiz wants to know, how does government closure affect your precious metal purchases?
It doesn't really affect me. I think it's had some play into the spot price a little bit and what's happening, but it hasn't really played into any of my decision making at this point.
Right. Okay.
But my heart goes out to any of the government workers, any of you guys. I know we don't disclose some of our professions, but my heart goes out to you guys, the ones that aren't getting paid right now. So
there's some even in this community that I know of that work for the government and that are affected by the shutdown. So my heart goes out to them too. I hope they get it squared away, no matter which side of the aisle you're on the issue. I think that we all can agree that it'd be better if people could get back to work and get paid. The good thing is that we'll eventually get paid. It just it won't happen until the shutdown is over. So we're hoping that soon. The unfortunately the contractors who work for a working association for those, they won't get reimbursed, unfortunately. But anyways, let's see here. Moving on. Okay, let's see here. Next question. Does your boat, down in New Mexico, does your boat have an outboard?
Oh yeah, definitely it's got an outboard. So yeah, I got a what is it? It's a 70 horse outboard.
Okay, all right.
So we're in saltwater. So yeah, it's got to hold up to that. I actually have a small little trolling motor as a backup. You don't want to get caught with the tides.
Right, yeah. Tricky guy, do you have tons of subscribers send you ounces in the mail on an hourly basis as Sal is getting?
I wish.
Oh man.
No, I don't really have. No, I don't have that, and I haven't really publicized a mailing address on my channel.
It's a prerequisite for anybody that's going to subscribe to my channel. They have to pay me in silver. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, well, I got to get on top of this. I've been behind. Jeez.
It's he's just picking on me. He's teasing me. No one, just their viewership is more than I could ever ask for. It's great community, but there's a lot of good, generous folks, and we all give in our own different ways. DB Stupid, your thoughts on Seattle rare coins getting in trouble in May? I bought there once. Any other suggestions? I traveled through Seattle.
Oh, you know what? I just recently heard about this, but I don't know all the details, so it's hard for me to actually speak out on that. I just recently heard about it actually through somebody at the LCS mentioned it, but I haven't had an opportunity to look into what was going on. They're a huge company with multiple locations, I know, in the Seattle area. And so I don't know enough to, I guess, truly give a comment on it yet. So I guess I probably should look that up actually after we're done here. So, yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me. A lot of these big guys, we're starting to hear about it. I know, Sal, I think you've had a couple of them with some of these mints going in bankrupt and getting themselves into some serious trouble. So it seems to happen when they go to that large scale. So, and I think that might be, I'm speculating, might be something that's happened to this company.
Right. Yeah. It's, and I'm not as familiar with the regional or companies, but some of the more national ones, we've done some videos on those. But yes, very good. Okay, let's see. Low blood pressure. Merc, you ever eat crab fried rice? That sounds good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, out here in the Pacific Northwest, where we have this abundance of seafood. Yeah, I mean, you get a crab at every meal. I mean, they got crab eggs Benedict. I mean, people put it in everything, like omelets. People put salmon, in the morning. I know, obviously, some people have lox and bagels. But yeah, I mean, they have crab in everything. I'm a huge seafood fan, and I love spice too. So
nice.
Delicious. So yes,
I can't get enough of crab meat. So I wish I lived, closer to where that stuff was just out naturally. But anyways, all right, let's see here. Okay, tricky guy, MAGA or Pelosi lover boy? In other words, your political affiliation, I guess. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I'm gonna pass on that.
All right. Let's see here. And then tricky guy is another one. Let's see here. Let's see here. Down in New Mexico, tricky or South Side? He's asking you to choose between two YouTubers. You may not have heard of them, but I don't know.
I'm not sure who Tricky is. I know who Southside is because he was the one that you just recently interviewed.
Yeah, he was on here with me. Southside Stacker. Yep.
I like Southside. I'm not sure what's going on with Tricky. I must have missed something recently.
He doesn't have a channel, but he's in here a lot. He's awesome. He's a good good guy that comes here. He's very clever with his humor, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Like he when I did the announcement video, he said something about the Osmonds. I must have said it like Maria, like not the Osmonds, like Mark Wahlberg, Mercury, like Mark Wahlberg, and I didn't get it. But anyways, right, I must have something I said. I didn't go back and listen. Let's see here. I think we've ran through. DB Stupid follows up, says that Seattle Rare Coins was busted for buying stolen coins and reselling on eBay.
Okay. That all right. So I think I might have a little bit of understanding of that too. Yeah, because I know through my LCS, he's been around forever, the owner. Yeah. And I know the Seattle area has had some major issues with fakes that have come out. And I know there was about the first year I got into stacking, there was a counterfeiter actually in the Seattle area that was putting out some massive amounts, and actually he was replicating the Australian Lunar Series 1. He was
Wow.
you know, the not only the circulation, the bullion, but also the
Right.
proof, which has the limited mint, the really really small limited mintages on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot of fakes out in the Pacific Northwest area. So I don't know if this has resurfaced again with, you know, some of those coins that have come out now again, but I know that was a major issue out here. So you had to, yeah, watch. So if whoever mentioned that, if they are in the Seattle area or the Pacific Northwest, Portland area, yeah, watch if you're buying anything like that, you know, ungraded, unverified, double check.
Yeah.
That because yeah, a lot
Well,
of that there was a
his
lot of counterfeits that came out here.
his follow-up question is, do you know of any good LCSs in the Seattle area that would be reputable?
Yeah, there's a few. I would say the north side of Seattle. There's quite a few. I'm trying to remember. Let's see. There's one in Mount Lake Terrace. There's another one up in Linwood. If you take a look, I'm drawing a blank on all their names. If you just type in
Right.
Coin Shop, but the ones in the northern Seattle, I've visited a little bit more frequently. I've traveled to go around. Stay away from the south end.
Right.
Yeah, by the airport, by SeaTac, if you're familiar with that area, and there's been some very questionable ones down there, as well as the Tacoma area, which is the
Okay.
South Sound area. So
Right.
for our local subscribers and listeners.
Yeah, very good. All right. Low blood pressure asks if you have some extra cash that I can borrow to put a bid in on Republic Metals.
Yeah, yeah. Just send me your routing number.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's if you check out, I've done some videos on that, and actually, yeah,
Yes.
I do scammer calls too, and I record those. So, and I posted one just recently, a couple days ago, where I called up a loan scammer and asked for money to buy Republic Metals. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I have a whole playlist of those. If you want a good laugh,
Yes.
or you want to roll your eyes a lot, you can, you can check that out if you get a chance. All right, let's see.
Definitely.
Anybody that wants to ask a question, just use the shift 9 parenthesis, open parenthesis in front of your question so I can see it. And there you go. And then we'll get the more questions going. We'll ask a couple more before we.
Hey, Sal, I don't know if there's any, if you're waiting for a few to come through. I have two questions, I guess,
Yes.
maybe for people out there, because I am reading the side chat, but maybe Sal, you can help, maybe if you feel inclined to answer. But what's your maybe your top 3 to 5 kind of dream purchases that are out there? You know, whether they're really challenging because of the financial purchase.
Yeah.
You know, I know the topics come up a couple times, but I always enjoy hearing what people have. You know, it's like, you know, that's always been on my list, but I just haven't pulled the trigger yet on it.
That's something I've got a couple, and I thought about maybe even doing a video on those. But and some people think, well, it might be the classic. You know, obviously we like to get a rare classic coin, that type of thing. But that are just beyond my reach right now would be probably the 2-ounce high relief wedge-tailed eagle gold coin.
Oh, okay.
And another one, which might be a little bit easier to get, but I'm just not sure if I'm ready to spend the money for it, would be the 1-ounce high relief platinum wedge-tailed eagle.
Oh, wow.
But as far as now, obviously the other thing would be like a wire rim high relief St. Gaudens 1907, but that's, you know, that you're talking well over, I mean, thousands of dollars, a couple $1,000s, even much higher than that for the high grade versions. But yes, indeed. By the way, you have a new subscriber as of 3 seconds ago now. It was 2 seconds ago when he typed it. Silver Wolverine is subscribed to you. He's a great member of the community.
Oh, yes. I followed some of his, and I'd like to thank everybody. I know after you did the post yesterday, I think there was at least 10 to 12 new subscribers. So thank you everybody for subscribing to my channel. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
1,000 now. He's very close to 1,000. So let's see if we can get him up over 1,000 subscribers. It'd be great. But yeah, good question. How about for you? What would be your
Yeah, actually one of yours is actually on mine. I would say it's probably second right now, but like a high grade double eagle. I don't have one that's definitely a great investment piece, or just something you really crave. It's been up there. I haven't been ready to make that type of investment in it. That's been sitting on my list, and I've been watching the market and some of the auctions out there. I just haven't found it yet.
Right,
Outside
right.
of that, it's another gold piece, the 50 pesos, which is
Oh
just
yeah,
over an ounce. I've I kicked myself 2 years ago when gold had that slight dip and it went back down to I think like 1100 or something like that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
My finger was on the purchase button, and I decided
Wow,
not to. I kind of kicked
wow.
myself a little bit now on it,
Oh man.
but that one's really high. I would say almost it's number one. Every time I see one of those in a video, yeah, am I jealous? So yeah, I'm
Right,
definitely
right.
drooling on my keyboard at that point.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, another more affordable option, especially nowadays, but is the ultra high relief 2009 double eagle coin. That's a neat
Hmm.
coin,
Yes.
and that one you can probably get for 1700 $1,800 now, which is still a premium over spot, but not like it was way before. But anyways, but all right, tricky guy, what price for you to back up the truck? In other words, how low would it go before you just start amassing a bunch of silver?
Uh, I just started doing that in 2018. Actually, I
Right.
thought that was quite a drop that we saw
Yep.
back down to 14. I've only seen that once. I think that was actually back in late 14. I think the spot price got that low.
Right.
Either 14 or beginning of 15. And I went heavy. And I went
Plus,
heavy on
not only that.
American Silver Eagles. Look at my past couple videos
Right.
that
Right.
you've seen. I was picking up 2, 3 rolls. And if you go back to that period that I just talked about, like 2015 or something like that, I was, pushing 4 or 5 rolls when it was at the 14, and I think it dipped under 14 for like a day or two.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yep.
I'm pushing. I'm going to go heavy, but it's going to be foundational stuff. Stuff that I
Yep.
can liquidate pretty easily. As mentioned, I'm trying to fill up another monster box with American Silver Eagles, and those are something that if the price gets high enough, I'd probably liquidate
Right.
again
Right.
and maybe sit on it for a while or reinvest it into something else for the time being until the price dropped back down and it was worthwhile to reinvest in a precious metal.
Right.
So
Very, very good. Yeah. And yeah, and it's the other thing too is you've also did that because of the impending tax that is now in effect this year. So
yeah, yeah, the online sales tax that went in effect. So yeah, I went pretty heavy and I even went a little bit further than I was comfortable with, just because I knew I was going to pay more
yeah.
with it. So this month, yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit light on unboxing this month because I'm still making sure I can get everything paid off. So
Very good. Exactly. Yes, definitely. This is just a statement from Corn Dog 42. After living in Tacoma, I wonder, is there anything good in that town?
no,
Yeah.
they're usually the butt of all the jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're butt of jokes, and I'm sure, as he could probably contest to, it's a pretty smelly town all the time. There's a lot of
Wow.
industrial work down there, and it's got a distinct smell.
Right. Right. Barbara Carbone is planning on adding more gold or stack. That's good. And Merc, you got anyone you convinced or taught about stacking? If you got kids, have you talked to them about real money? Good question.
Yeah. I credit my dad to just for my financial stability and everything, teach me about money and managing money.
Right.
I think him every day about that, be able to match my money. And I've continued to start to pass that down. My kids are still very, very young.
Yeah.
But yeah, helping them understand that. And I do plan on doing that. And I come from a large family. And I am still a very large resource to my brothers that are out there, my family members. They contact me for financial questions all the time.
That's
So
awesome. That's great. That's really good. Awesome. Yes, it's definitely. I think those of us who understand real money and the true value of gold and silver, I think we provide a perspective, and I think that a lot of people it's amazing how people really don't know about these metals and about the history behind them and why they're important, and even to this day. So I think that's good, and of course, obviously, the ideas of fiscal discipline, paying off your bills, keeping your debt down, something which the federal government could learn from private people, but then again, most Americans, other than I think many of us, in our community and those that understand real money, sadly, most Americans, their debts are going up every year. They're increasing their personal debts, and it's too bad. I hate to hear that, but anyways. Killing time 24/7. How could someone tell if a coin is stolen since they don't have a serial number that can be ran through a database? Hmm. Yeah, good. What do you think, Mark?
On that one for with stolen coins,
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, if it's not serialized, and
there's no way to tell,
there, there really isn't, unless you have some kind of like video proof, I
Right.
guess, of
Yep.
somebody physically taking or conducting the theft, and then obviously selling it. So
I'm
that would be
looking,
extremely hard to prove.
I'm looking at a coin and a flip right now. It's got handwriting on it, and that handwriting is obviously very unique. And so, if this coin was stolen, and I was the one that stole it, I'd be foolish to keep it in this flip. But unless there's an identifying mark on the coin itself, a certain die or scratch mark that can be identified from a photograph, a really detailed photograph, there's really no way.
Hmm. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, from a coin or around, yeah, that it would be extremely challenging. There are some bars that are out there that are serialized, so
Yeah,
you have some unique tracking capabilities, but yeah, coinage, no.
right. Frederick Brandt says that I know nothing, Mercury Mark. He's
Yeah,
one.
I see.
He's one of the
Is he your
trolls.
local troll? Because yeah,
He's my local troll.
he's got
You
some
know,
interesting commentary that's out there. Wow.
yeah, but the thing is, Mark, is I'm really, my feelings are a little bit hurt because Frederick Brandt has not sent me some kroners from Norway for a while, and as a super chat, a donation,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm kind of hoping tonight he might be in a good mood. He makes pretty good bank. He actually does make a lot of money, and but if you don't stack or you don't collect exactly what he approves of, then you are nobody. You don't know anything about coins. That's his motto.
Oh, okay.
So
So
just
yeah, it's
be
one of those.
forewarned. Just understand that that if whatever you collect, if it's not what he approves of, you don't know anything about coins, and you're not collecting the right thing. All
Yeah.
right, let's see here. Where are we at? Okay. Any other question? I think we've exhausted most of the questions here. And we've had a good time. And let's see here. So we will. Let's see here. I guess yeah, we're getting close to the end. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss or talk about, Mr. Mercury Mark here?
Well, there was only one other topic, Sal. I wrote down here. I think we've discussed most of them. There was one, actually. I don't know if you've done a video on it or not. I was trying to look here before we started, but the U.S. Mint, 2018 released its numbers. Have you looked at those?
Um,
For their American Silver Eagles,
yeah,
as well as the gold.
yeah.
Have you seen the mintage numbers and how some of them are some of low, and
Yes.
also compared that to the local online bullion dealers, and they've started they've definitely taken notice on it, and especially the American Gold Eagles.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen a huge price jump on there after those numbers were released.
Right.
So I think it's either the half or quarter ounce gold one.
Yeah, and I've not looked closely at those numbers. I know Silver Wolverine did a video on the Silver Eagles, and I think you talked about the gold Eagles. But and when he did his video on it, I didn't do one because I thought he kind of had it covered. But that is fascinating that they were low. But I didn't look at it that closely. But I might consider doing a video, or if you want to do a video on that,
Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
just what's interesting. I came across it late last night when I was doing some reading, just on some news off a few of the websites that are out there. So
Very good, very good. Hey, Nova Stacker says that they've got you up to 1,000 subs now. So very good.
hey,
All right. Thank you, guys.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Might have to do something to celebrate here.
And everybody's saying that I'm giving you the bum rush. So I'll stick around until Frederick Brandt gives me a super chat donation of let's say 50 kroners. So go ahead, Frederick Brandt with a 50. He's ignoring me now. He's not even acknowledged that I'm here. I can't believe it. And but yeah, Ikeo Nets here. He says they're low, but they're not that low. I haven't really even looked at them too much. I guess compared to some of the more recent years, it's a little bit surprising that they're a little bit lower. But I guess they're not considered rare low. But yeah,
Yeah. I think it was the half ounce. It was somewhere around about 30,000 for the half ounce gold eagle, which is, I think, one of the lowest mintages they ever had. So because I was keeping my eye on Yeah, that type of denomination. And yeah, the prices were like crazy. I was looking at it since we got into 19, seeing if anybody was trying to liquidate their 18s. And the
Right.
prices just suddenly skyrocketed
Yeah.
last 2 months.
Yeah. And, you know, and typically that's kind of one of those things where as the price goes low, this sadly, this, and I'm going to do a video on this. And that is 10 people have a tendency, psychology, to sell low and buy high, or not buy low and then buy high. You know what I mean? It's like whenever
Yeah.
whenever there's, and that's the time to get in is when the prices are low. Like what you did, Mark. You were smart in 2018 to pick up
Hmm.
what you did for a myriad of reasons. But a lot of people out there, they kind of they can't take the heat when the price goes low, so they give up or they sell, and then the price goes back up and they kick themselves. You know, kind of
Oh yeah.
like you know. I mean, yeah. But anyways, crazy. But anyways, well, very good. I do. Yeah, we've been on here for a good hour. I think we got covered a lot of different topics, but I think I've asked pretty much anything else you think I missed though, other than the mintages type situation with the Eagles?
No, no. Other than that, Sal, no, I've really enjoyed being on here, and this has been a tremendous opportunity. And thank you for the invite to come here and speak with you. And I'll open it up. Please check out my channel, everybody. And
Yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely open. Send me messages. I know my email's on my channel if people got questions or follow up. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed this.
Well, thank you. And just as a reminder to folks, I do this for members of the community that wish to put themselves out to a potentially different audience and potentially grow your channel, and to help kind of interact with the community a bit more. And I've learned more about Mercury Mark, and I hope you did too. And I think Mercury Mark certainly has met some new folks here, and so I think that's great. So one more slurp for Barbara. Yeah, here we go for Barbara. One more slurp. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, thank you all, one and all, for watching here in the side chat. I'm going to extend a multitude of gratitude. And as I always say, as a point of advice, and I want you guys to listen very carefully, because this advice is going to get you through life. And life is what we want to get through. Remember to keep your feet on the stars and keep reaching for the ground. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you, Mercury Mark. Have a good day or an evening and a great weekend.
Yes, you too, Sal. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.